Having explored the British television ratings for both Doctor Who and Blake 7, we now turn our attention to the American television ratings of Star Trek: The Original Series. How well did the 1960s series do? How many were watching? As you are no doubt aware, there were 3 seasons, broadcast from September 1966 to June 1969. There were 79 episodes, not including the first pilot, The Cage. The first season had 29 episodes, the second 26, and the third 24. From what I understand of the American television landscape of the 1960s, there were 3 main networks: ABC, NBC, and CBS. It was on NBC that Star Trek was broadcast. The 60s was a time of titles familiar to non-Americans, such as Lost in Space, Hogan's Heroes, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., Batman, Mission Impossible, The Beverly Hillbillies, Bewitched, Bonanza, and Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, and also shows less familiar, such as Gilligan's Island, The Girl from U.N.C.L.E., there was a Girl from U.N.C.L.E. apparently, The Virginian, and The Bell Telephone Hour. God knows what that was. Amongst these and others came Star Trek. We will be doing this in broadcast order, beginning with The Man Trap, first broadcast on Thursday the 8th of September 1966 at 8:30 in the evening. The Man Trap achieved 11.36 million, no doubt due to public curiosity. And if you think this, in a country of about 180 million people, is low, it should be noted that Star Trek: The Next Generation managed such numbers only at its height, barring All Good Things. Ratings remained on or slightly above 10 million for the 3 episodes that followed, before dipping for The Enemy Within, Mud's Women, and What a Little Girl's Made Of. They fell further for Muri, down to 8.95 million, but picked up for Dagger of the Mind. By The Menagerie Part 2, the ratings had broken through the 10 million barrier again, but the next 2 episodes fell to 8.62 and 8.51 million apiece. Perhaps the greatness of Balance of Terror created word of mouth, for Shore Leave saw a brief improvement that did not last long enough for the Galileo 7, but The Squire of Gothos started a 5-episode run of High Flyers until Space Seed, which was still good at 9.94 million. A Taste of Armageddon, This Side of Paradise, and The Devil in the Dark also joined the 10 million club, but the remaining episodes, Errand of Mercy, The Alternative Factor, City on the Edge of Forever, and Operation Annihilate slipped under this benchmark slightly. Overall then, Star Trek's first season was strong, with ratings many of today's shows on both sides of the North Atlantic might envy. The second season saw a slight reduction in both episodes and budget, down from $190,000 to $185,000 an episode. It also saw a change in day, Star Trek being moved from Thursday evening to Friday evening. The first episode, Amok Time, was broadcast on the 15th of September 1967 and saw a drop in ratings, 7.17 million, the lowest to date. This may have been due to the change in day. Who Mourns for Adonis and The Changeling managed 8.18 and 8.46 million respectively, but the second season seesawed under and over the 8 million mark until The Deadly Years, which came close to 10 million. the ratings threatened to slip back down until the Gamesters of Triskelion broke through to join the 10 Million Club, the first of the second season to do so. A Piece of the Action, The Immunity Syndrome, and A Private Little War did very respectable business, and then Return to Tomorrow took the series back up above 10 million. It was followed by 4 episodes under the 9 million mark, but then came Bread and Circuses, which broke the mould with 12.1 million, the highest rated episode of the original series. Assignment Earth finished the season with an apologetic but respectable 8.79 million. So overall, the second season was more mixed, with the ratings slightly lower, but with the highest rated episode in Bread and Circuses. Had Star Trek remained on Thursdays, as had been the case for the first season, then perhaps the ratings would have been stronger. As it was to turn out, however, there was worse to come. NBC moved Star Trek from its 8:30 Friday slot to later, to 10 o'clock, a time slot seemingly chosen to kill the series. Its budget was also reduced to $175,000 an episode. The rather weak and silly Spock's Brain was the first episode broadcast on the 20th of September 1968, and this may have been a mistake, for although it reached 9.18 million, the next episode, The Much Better Enterprise Incident, managed only 6.67 million. The Paradise Syndrome saw an improvement, but the 7 episodes which followed did no better, keeping Star Trek below the 8 million mark, although Day of the Dove did come close. Wink of an Eye and The Empath bucked this trend, but only briefly, and the 5 episodes that came after weaved over and under the 7 million mark until the lights of Sitar, which achieved 8.09 million. The season then returned to its weaving under and over 7 million until the final episode, Turnabout Intruder, which was reportedly broadcast not on Friday at 10 PM, but on a Tuesday at 7:30. The result was the worst television ratings of the original series' brief 3-year history, at only 5.02 million. It was a sad end. Which were the highest rated and which were the lowest rated original series Star Trek episodes? Well, happily, I have made a couple of lists. First, the 10 lowest rated episodes, starting at 10 with Journey to Babel, 7.28 million. At 9, Amok Time, 7.17 million. In 8th place, Metamorphosis, 7.11 million. And in 7th, The Way to Eden, 7.07 million. Requiem for Methuselah comes in at 6 with only 6.95 million. And at 5 is Whom Gods Destroy, with 6.84 million. In 4th place is The Mark of Gideon, with 6.78 million. And in 3rd place is The Savage Curtain, with 6.73 million. 2nd place goes to The Enterprise Incident, with 6.67 million. And in 1st place, with the lowest ratings of the original series, it is Turnabout Intruder with 5.02 million, and now the highest rated episodes of the original series. In joint 8th place, we find The Devil in the Dark and Where No Man Has Gone Before, both with 10.38 million. Arena and The Squire of Gothos hold 7th and 6th place with 10.54 million and 10.82 million respectively, whilst in 5th place is The Gamesters of Triskelion, 10.92 million. Now the top 4, and we start, unsurprisingly, at number 4, and the Return of the Archons, with 10.93 million. Tied at third place are A Taste of Armageddon and Tomorrow is Yesterday, with 10.98 million each. And in second place is The Man Trap with 11.36 million. And in first place, the highest rated original series Star Trek episode, and having already told you earlier, God only knows why I'm making such a fuss about it now, is Bread and Circuses with 12.1 million. Given it was meant to be a 5-year mission, we might wonder what a 4th or even 5th season of original Star Trek might have been like, and just how well or poorly the ratings might have been. There is a hint in the animated series. But alas, Star Trek the original series was cancelled, only to be syndicated and become a nice little earner, spawning spin-offs and motion pictures. I wonder if NBC kicked themselves.